I was watching PSG World. I think you guys must check the series out. The vice chancellor of the vice starting. Actually, let's just say we're studying online because of COVID, especially and fall, which is an interesting thing thinking about it because he's like, what do you call out of the 37 that I have you do not have and getting affecting your future projects as well because a house in my plans of either to more and we're still getting good returns in comparison to having a 12 months lease with like a cash student actually. And the rates as well with affordable housing or 20%, 23% on a house versus me looking at a student accommodation property or house, uh, and I can make anywhere between 36 and I put money on something question. I had a big question as well. My team and we actually the still getting paid together. If you have that is getting who's reacting. So uh, I'm with of a because what came And then, why would you want to study closer to the university? Why don't you stay at home? The reason is allow you to participate. You can feel that look, you know, since that's something that also be done. And I mean, we are at a point, a matter of timing to say what the next 3 months, and we get on a lot of things they went from 50 to I mean level, and that's the uh, and with university. So 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 let's um, let's talk about South Korea it 20? We had fees bigger. Is the increase or each year? Well, it differs, but I'm looking at an average of that. So that means if you're investing in say about the spend, important part of the rest. And I think that is going back to the basics of exactly how this student accommodation got started, because that's something that's very, very important. So e-learning, yes, it affects, how people were doing things before. But as a landlord or somebody who's interested in student accommodation, I wouldn't say you should be worried that much because it's based on our research and based on also different sources of research, we actually realize that people rather stay at rest, even if they're doing their online studying, because the environment encourages them to study. They came there for one thing, school. And they've also, students love freedom as well. They want to be able to go out and go to partying on weekend and do this and that and the other. So staying at home won't allow them to do that, which is something else. Not just for studying as well, but the freedom too. The freedom part is something very important. The freedom part is so important that students who usually stay inside the university races in the first 3 years or the first 2 years, they usually move out and find a rest outside where they don't have curfews and things like that, where they don't, they're not like said, okay, you must come back at 10, you must not bring, a guest, things like that. So that's why if you go outside universities, you find out the residents would say, hey, you can bring one person to sleep over, but not more than 5 days, You can come back at any time, there's no curfews, there's no, those strict rules that you get inside, university races as well. So that is how much freedom is so important to them. It's like, I'm not sure about the percentage at this point, but that's also a research that we're doing as well to figure out how many actually students in percentage move from inside races in the first 2 years of their university years into outside races just because they want freedom, because now you can't come back at 10, you must do this, you must do that, you must go, it's hectic, actually. And that's why they move out. And freedom is something very, very important. So the freedom won't be there if the student has to stay at home and then be able to study. They're going to send them to the shops, they're going to come back, they're going to do this, clean the house. Why did you do this? You know how home is, especially most of you guys have been students before, and some of you guys are still students as well. The student accommodation market, I don't think it's going to be affected very, very much because the demand is still there. The students still need to move from home to go to a place they call school, to be in a place where they can be able to study, become productive, and also be focusing solely on study. And that is also something that we realize as well. And then another thing that I think that is pretty important is e-learning is here to stay. E-learning is here to stay. I don't think e-learning is going to be here for a short period amount of time. I think e-learning is going to be here to stay for quite some time, and I think we must just start embracing it. So this is why, you know, the things that already mattered, but right now they're going to be more of a priority. When the student is going to be staying at your place as a landlord, as an investor, the Wi-Fi must be very strong, you know, because they're going to be doing most of their work from the internet. And, you know, as long as it's closer to school, they can submit, do some practicals, come back and work most of the time from home. But this is just going to be more important right now to say, hey, without Wi-Fi, we can't stay because e-learning is there. And I don't want to stay at home because of reasons I mentioned earlier before. That's something that we have to realize as well. And then also the social distancing issue. You know, we're not sure how long this thing is going to be for. You know, if you just do the precautions of, you know, washing hands, sanitizing, and all of those other things, I think that it can also put you in the right position, because we actually went to the details to say, okay, who actually makes the decision for students if they're picking a place? If somebody want to stay in your place, is it the parent who makes the decision, or is it the student who makes the decision? And we found out that, you know, 8 out of 10, the students makes the decision. You know, the students looks at your place to say, hey, Kanya has a house close to the university. I went and viewed it, and I like it because it's clean, it's this, my friends are staying close by, and school is not too far, it's safe, etc., etc. And then they call the parents to say, hey, come see the house. You know, I like this house that I like, you come see. So the parents just come there, and then parents are only concerned about a few things: safety, and also cleanliness as well. Can there kids study in there without, you know, having any problems, you know, with the clean bugs and things like that. We actually had houses when we were doing property management. I think we did property management of around 102 beds. We actually had like houses that had bugs and things like that. It was hectic. And those are some things you want to be able to avoid, do some fumigation and all those things, but sorry for another day. But what I'm saying is the parents are concerned about those things. They're not concerned about where the student is choosing the place. They're just concerned about safety, you know, cleanliness, and also affordability. Can I afford what this guy is looking for? What if the place requires me to top up with 500 rand every month on top of my NSFAS money? What if the place requires me to top up for Wi-Fi, for electricity, for this, and the other? Can I afford that, you know, at this stage I'm in? So those are the things that our parents are concerned about, but the students actually are the ones who are making the decision. Anyway, so that's also another thing that's very, very important to realize, that the student is going to be coming to your place, prioritizing the Wi-Fi first, prioritizing, you know, perhaps the proximity to university, prioritizing safety, and also prioritizing amenities in the area. Can I go to the shop close by? Can I do this? Is there a spa? Is there this, and the other? Is there taxis? You know, is there things? If I want to go to point A to B, can I do that? So when you're buying, you have to be very strategic about your location as well. I think that's something very, very important as well. All right, so one of the things that we also realized is, you know, we went into the marketing. I think we will have a whole discussion about it another day. I wanted to just mention something here. You know, I managed to mention something here. I think I made a note of it. I'm not sure where I put it. Just give me a moment there. Okay. So. Where's this thing? Okay. I don't think I can find it. Let me see. Oh yeah. Another thing is sharing rooms and things like that. But I think that we will go into the details of it, you know, in another session as well. Today I just wanted to highlight, you know, the effects of student accommodation and e-learning, and what we found out, what our research team has done as well, and also you know, how it's affecting things going forward. And some of it is also has to unfold. You know, we have to be realistic about that as well. We must realize that this thing is still unfolding as we go. There's some rumors of the third wave of COVID that's coming. You know, how's that going to affect things? And recently, I just ran into an article from ENC saying that 8,000 of the vet students won't be able to go back to university because of financial reasons caused by COVID-19, which is an interesting perspective as well. to say, hey, if you're somebody who's very, very interested in the sector, dig deep into that as well. Figure out what is going to be affecting those 8,000 people who's coming back, and universities next to it, like NMU, other universities as well. How is that going to be affecting that, your investment actually, as an investor in student accommodation as well? That's something that's very, very important too. So if 8,000 people, let's just say 8,000, and it can be more, are not coming back, are those 8,000 people cash students, or are they, NSFAS students? Obviously, that means if they're cash students, they're going to have to apply for NSFAS, right? That means you're going to be now dependent heavily on government spending, if you're dependent heavily on government spending, so that means you're going to have NSFAS students. What happens if NSFAS students doesn't work out? Your property doesn't get accredited on time. What are your other options that you can be able to do in that area? Can you accredit it with agencies, who are bringing, people, international students in South Africa? Can you focus on bursary companies with bursaries as well? The companies that are giving people bursaries, you can also just call them and figure out, okay, how many students do you guys have? I have a good house, apartment, whatever. What else can you do about that as well? What else can you focus on that can be able to help you make sure that you're filling your place up at the end of the day? Make sure that you get the return on investment that you're supposed to get on your investment, and make sure that you're also planning for your worst case scenario as well, because the students, long story short, are still going to be there. They're still going to be wanting to hire your place. They're still going to be wanting to stay in a rest for all the reasons we mentioned, up to, the freedom, and also being in a place that supports the environment that supports them to be able to study as well. That's something that's very, very important. And I wanted to just mention that I do not think, in my personal opinion so far, by the way, I said personal opinion, so these things can change and I could be wrong. And I'm happy to be wrong. I want to be corrected as time goes over. But I do not think, according to the research we did, according to our researchers as well, according to what we've seen also from different sources, and what we've seen from the performance of portfolios performing during COVID as well, I do not think we will have a problem with demand. I just think that we will just have to figure out other ways to mitigate our risk entirely as investors, as people as well who are interested in student accommodation. You must also keep your pulse on the market as well and see what's going on, what's happening, and also what are the changes that are going to be happening. At this point, it's a matter of timing. I think at this point, it's a matter of timing for us to see how's the next 3 to 6 months going to be. And, obviously the third wave, June is coming as well. How's that going to be affecting, things on the market as well? But I'm pretty much confident in comparison to what's going on in affordable housing. I think student accommodation is going to be able to persevere much longer, actually, in comparison to what's happening in affordable housing. But, that is because we are solely, let's just say, specializing mostly in student accommodation. And somebody with affordable housing, specializing in that sector as well, might have different opinions. And, if you have somebody who's specializing in affordable housing, and they have a pulse on the market, I think we will try to bring our guests on from our side as well, but also recommend them. Say something in the chat box, say something on YouTube as well when you see this, and let's have this conversation and see, because it's an interesting conversation to see exactly what's going on in the market right now. Keep ourselves updated about the changes. Keep ourselves updated about what's going on in universities. How are universities also changing, to their policies, for accreditation, for POSA, as in like privately owned student accommodation as well. How are universities changing their policies? Are they planning on building more residents themselves? Do you see that as competition? And also, how can you work around that as well in your planning too? So this is just all about student accommodation, and let's have this conversation, guys, and let's keep the conversation going. So I think this is what I'm going to be ending my chat for today with you guys. I just thought, I should share my thoughts, our research as well, and our findings, and also, what we're doing as well. Oh, by the way, we're working on, our first fund for student accommodation is closed. I think when we're breaking ground, and then we're going to be releasing another fund in, I'm not sure about the date yet, it's not confirmed yet, but in the next 2 to 3 months, we should be, if you're on our email list, you should be able to get, access to invest with us in more, nicer deals that are private equity deals, and then you can become a shareholder in those projects as well. And at the same time, I think that, anybody who's looking to get into the market, educate yourself, find people who are like-minded or who know what's going on in the market, or who are already in the market as well. Figure out what they're doing that's working right now, figure out what their struggles are, and then try to, plan for the worst case scenarios, and also so you can be able to optimize our investments going forward. Otherwise, I look forward to chilling to you guys later, and have an incredible Friday. So look, if you have any questions, I think I'm still here. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you guys might have. And also make sure that you like this video. We need at least 10 likes here, or 15 or 20, I don't know, but just make sure that you like this video in the group. If you're on watching this thing from YouTube as well, make sure that you like this video so it can be recommended to many people as well, and they can be able to see it and then be able to share it as well. Share if you can with other people. And don't forget, guys, invite people to join our real estate wealth group. We're going to be touching on a lot of more subjects like this. And this is just the beginning. And this is going to be a very, very interesting year. So happy 2021. And we're looking forward to having more sessions like this. And, sure, keep all the likes coming. And thank you very much, guys, for watching. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments. If I can't answer it now, otherwise send us an email at help@esralcity.com. And we're looking forward to working with you guys in 2021 and beyond. Thank you, guys. And this is where we're going to be ending our session. I know we had a little bit of a trouble logging in on, what do you call this thing, on YouTube. But I think we're here right now as well, and on Facebook too. So, guys, see you guys later, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.